Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure to be joined by Sean O'Hagan down here in Garforth's gym, Josh Warrington. All you boys, look, it's been a while since we caught up. It was fight night. Dust's now settled. It's gone on a few weeks now. Sort of looking back, are you still in the same mind frame about how the fight ended? Have your feelings changed? Where are you at sort of mentally with what happened?
First of all, I'd like to apologise to Mr. Frank Smith, who sure he understands that emotions are running high. You know, it's one of them things. It wasn't directed at Frank, to be honest with you. I was annoyed, I was wound up. No, my mindset, to be perfectly honest, I still believe the referee got it wrong. He's there to do a job. You know, I mean, I like Michael Alexander. I do like him. I've always thought he was a good referee. I just think on that particular occasion he got it wrong. And my reason for saying that is not so much after Josh got up from canvas, more the deduction at point, because he'd warned him once for punching to the back of the head, really. Well, it's a little bit difficult because I'm led to believe that target area, sides is okay, front's okay. What do you do if you started to deliver a punch and the opponent turns his head?
I think I want to remember something. We were in Oklahoma, obviously, for Maxie Hughes, and one of the things I spoke to Josh, and he brought this up with me, sort of off camera. If you remember, the referees they spoke to everyone. He said, "Look, it was a big thing." They said, "Look, if you're punching and your opponent turns his head, you won't get penalised. So if you're holding, rabbit punching, all that, you're in for it," kind of thing. But they made it quite clear, didn't they, beforehand?
Well, if anybody can point out to me which round and when the occasion was when Josh had hold of him and he'll punch into the back of the head, then point it out, because I think it was screened to I don't know how many countries around the world and how many million people. But to be honest, it's one of them things. It's what's done's done now. But yeah, well, I mean, when we were in Oklahoma, they made a massive point of coming in, and he said, here's okay. If you've already delivered a punch, he said, and the opponent turns his head or dips his head, you won't be penalised. I mean, back to Michael Alexander there, he makes a big point, does Michael, saying if you've got an arm free, come on boys, you've got an arm free, work it out, keep working. And then stops it and gives a warning. He said, you know, we had one warning. Second time, the punch that he actually took the point for, I thought was ridiculous. But I don't like Michael. You know, it's one of them things. I just think they're out week after week. They're flying all over the world. You know, I think there need to be a few more officials and referees, to be honest with you. And I don't say that. You know, I don't dislike any of them. Like every referee has his own kind of way of doing things, you know. But if you're going to say something, then stick to it, you know. But like I say, I think you were right when Josh got up off the floor. What you're supposed to do is get up off the floor. You're supposed to stand up straight, look at the referee, raise your arms. He didn't, and I think the reason for that is that the noise in there, the 10-second clacker went. He stood up, thought, well, 10 seconds, I'll get back to my corner. As he turned round, he'd waved it off on 8. And he turned directly to me, did Michael. I said, the reason I've done that is because he had his back to me. I said, you didn't give him a chance to turn round, Michael. You know, but I don't dislike him and I don't have any grievance with him now. I just think on that occasion, we're all human, and I just think he got it wrong.
Well, I think it's important sort of moving away from that side of it, and whether it was right, wrong or indifferent. There were a lot of question marks over Josh coming into that fight, and you know, people in his team, obviously yourself, people in here, they sort of knew what was coming, but he proved to everyone that he still belongs at world level, still got plenty left. Back in here obviously tonight, I'm not sure if he's doing it, but he looks raring to go. How pleased were you with his performance up until that point?
Very pleased. I mean, everybody bangs on about Leigh Wood and everybody else making weight, and you know, like, we've been doing this over 10 years now, same weight for over 10 years, and I think now's the time to say that we're ready to move up in weight as well.
130-pound division now?
I think 130 division now, yeah.
Well, look, let's talk about the 130-pound division. Leigh's openly said, look, I'm moving up as well. when you look at the fights up there, you likes of Joe Cordina, you have a fight a week after, obviously, Reece's fight with Gary, you've got Michael Conlan, Jordan Gill, that's at 1:30. I'm not sure Michael's intentions are, John, whatever they want to do after that, but there's a lot of big fights at 1:30. Is it for him now a case of biggest fights, most money, or is he really wanting that world title to become a 3-time world champion? I had this conversation the other day. Is it going to be at loggerheads, or because he's had the world titles, is it, look, I'm at that stage of my career, biggest fights, most money, line them up?
Everybody likes getting paid, don't they? But everybody likes them belts as well, especially when it's a third belt. So we're not bothered. We'd like both, really, being greedy.
In terms of any information on a potential rematch, obviously Josh has got a huge following. There is a narrative to the Leigh Wood fight, the whole, everything that's gone on in the build-up. I suppose, like, he was written off prior to the fight. Okay, what anyone says, a lot of people had wrote him off, and then he got in the ring, proved they still belonged, and what happened. But it makes for a really good rematch, belt on the line and not. And Leigh wants to fill that city ground, and he's got fans that will definitely travel and put bums on seats. Is that something that you think we will see? Should it happen?
I think if I were a promoter, it makes sense. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, listen, they keep going on about Cordina and Leigh Wood. Leigh certainly has a following. Cordina, I'm not sure that he could do a job like we could do, you know. I think a lot of people want to see a rematch between Josh and Leigh Wood. I think as a promoter, if I were a promoter, I think what I'd do is common sense. Promoters are in it to make money. They want the stadiums full. I mean, well, we're seeing that on the TNT one other night. You know, it was half empty, and I don't think anybody wants that. Not promoters, you know. They want to see a full stadium, 2 fighters that are going to have a go.
Well, look, let me ask you: if for some reason Leigh goes down another route, I don't know how strict the IBF is in terms of if he'd be able to get a voluntary or however it would work with a Joe Cordina, let's say he was. What will Josh's next move be if Leigh's tied up for, say, the next 6 months? What's he got in store? Plenty of names out there. I mean, there's Michael Conlan out there, isn't there, with Jordan Gill? Maybe winner of them. That'd be an obvious one. That'd be a big fight regardless of where it was, let's be honest.
It'd be a big fight, and it'd be a big fight with or without a belt, with or without a world title. You know, you've got Michael's following over there. It'd make sense to do it in New York. So we'd be happy with that. I think you've also got this, we've seen Nick Ball all the night fighting
Isaac Dogboe.
Isaac Dogboe, really. I'm not sure he's going to be in frame yet. I'm really not. So. But, I mean, listen, we'd do Lopez again.
I know that's one that he's openly said he'd have.
We'd do Mauricio Lara again. We'd do him here in Leeds again. You know, we're not bothered who we fight. We'll fight. Simple as that.
Well, look, I think let's move on to Reece. Reece Mould's been on one hell of a trot, especially since he's been given the opportunity to fight under the GBM banner. He's sort of coming into his own, especially at this weight class where years ago you could sort of tell he needed to move. He now gets a chance against Gary Cully, and it's I suppose a bit of a blessing in disguise in terms of the show. Now he's bounced to, gets to go to Ireland against the guy who Matchroom are promoting as one of the next big Irish stars in Gary Cully. Why is now the time for Reece Mould?
Reece has not had the rubber green really when it comes down to fights and venues and opponents, and I mean his last fight fell off. He'd been in camp for...
On the eve of. Yeah.
On the eve of, you know, and that was down to a medical issue with his opponent. But he'd spent all that time getting ready and preparing for that. So we're very, very disappointed. I thought, again, you know, absolutely gutted for him, devastated for him. He'd come out of work, he'd done his camp, only for it to fall off. So when this one came along, it was kind of a bit of a blessing in disguise, really. He's not bothered about big names and next big Irish star. I mean, he'll fight anybody. That kid there will fight anybody. The thing with Reece Mould at the minute is his mindset is different now to what it was 18 months ago.
What's changed? More serious? What is it?
I think what he's done is... I don't know what's changed with him. He just walked in one day and we had a little chat. he went on about packing in boxing. And mine said to that, well, if you want to have a chat with anybody else, then you can, but I can't prepare you for anybody. You know, if we haven't got an opponent, I can't prepare you for somebody who's not there. I think now what's been happening is he has been getting names, so we can prepare for that particular fighter. I think Gary Cully is a perfect one for Reece Mould to show what he's worth and what he can do.
Let's be honest as well, Gary Cully's coming off a devastating knockout on the previous Chantelle Cameron fight, so I think we've got to say as well, fair play to him, because he could have took a much easier road than Reece Mould, who's, you know, coming into this, let's be honest, he's coming into this flying.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, well, I don't know. I won't give him any credit for taking Reece Mould. I think his last comment was, it's nice to see that Reece Mould's got on a pair of balls. I mean, what was all that about, really, you know what I mean? Unless they're going to pay the right money, you're not going to get fights. They offered the right money, and he's got it. I think it might be a mistake. They've picked Reece Mould, I'll tell you why, because they're still lingering on the fact that he got beat by Leigh Wood. And I think the big mistake they're making there is Reece Mould has never ever been a featherweight. I told him that before that Leigh Wood fight. He said it was an opportunity, and my answer to that was, you take this opportunity and you win, you've got to do it again, then you've got to do it again. Where do you stop with opportunities? So I think what they've done is they're looking back at Reece Mould against Leigh Wood. Massive, massive mistake. He's seasoned at this weight now. He makes this weight very, very easy. I think Gary Cully, I believe, last time out were, I think he was £3 over championship weight, wasn't it? And look what happened to him there. Now he's going to come below that again. New trainer. I think they've all badly overlooked Reece Mould.
Look, it's exciting times again, and you'll be looking forward to a historic night in Dublin. I'll be there as a fan. I've not been to a fight for years as a fan, so it'd be nice to see how he gets on, and it's a terrific card. Look, Sean, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. There's going to be some big news hopefully for Josh coming up and the rest of this gym, and we'll catch up soon. Just before we go talk about this, just touch on this United Amateur Boxing Club. They do a lot of good work here. I believe Tuesday, Thursdays, Sundays, I've been told. Talk to me a little bit about it.
This is there were an amateur club near us that they lost the premises. Again, another club going down Pan, and what we've done is we had a bit of spare. We had some slots in here, so we've offered them a slot in here, and they've come along. And let me tell you, some serious talent coming from these boys. Serious talent. Fantastic job being done by Charlie Hughes and the rest of his coaches. I've already got my eye on one or two of them, to be honest with you. But there's some proper talented youth coming through.
Well, let's just end it on that. Look, if there's anyone who wants to get down here, sponsor any fighters, these amateurs coming through, the pros in the gym, Garforth's the place to be, let's be honest. Go on.
And I won't bring her in because she's not got no makeup on tonight, but first female that we're training.
Go on, yeah. Introduce her.
First female we're training, Jodie Wilkinson. I think she was released or she parted with GBs. And she's along here now training. Her application's in St Board. And I think out of everybody, she's going to be one to watch. Serious talent.
Well, look, always a pleasure catching up. We look forward to seeing her turn over pro, and we'll catch up when everyone's got some more news. Appreciate your time, bud.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.